Well, here it is, honey. Is it everything I told you?
Oh, it's nice, Eddie, yes.
Look, you can build your rock garden right over there. There's still plenty of room for a terrace and a barbecue.
Oh, I know, darling. It's everything we pictured, only...
Marcia, don't you like it?
Oh, yes. But it's such an isolated, out-of-the-way location. And that man's been threatening you.
Look, honey, you can forget all about that. Come here. I want to show you something else.
Trouble is like an elephant. It's pretty hard to hide. If you were stuck with an elephant, you'd ship it to the zoo. But some come addressed to my department. My name is Frank Ballinger, Detective Lieutenant, M Squad, a special detail of the Chicago Police. My boss was waiting for me.
Don't sit down, Frank. You won't be here long.
What's the shake?
Oliver Pollock, an attorney. He's waiting for you at this address. Seems he has some confidential information about the disappearance of Mr. and Mrs. Edward Traynor.
Was it for missing persons?
No, Pollock doesn't think so. See what he's got, huh? According to him, they might be missing permanent.
Okay. The Bureau had no report on the Traynors as missing persons. Such people can be easy cases or backbreakers. I wondered why a lawyer figured this one was for M Squad. The address was an apartment house on the west side, modest and comfortable. The Traynors had been living here for 2 years, and here I met Hazel Lawton.
Lieutenant, I'm worried sick about Marcia and Edward. They just walked out of this apartment and disappeared.
You see, Miss Lawton is the missing woman's sister. She just arrived from Boston, and she suggested I contact the police.
Well, when did you last hear from their sister?
Well, normally I get several letters a week from Marcia. We were very close. But it's been 3 weeks since I've heard from her. Lieutenant, I want my sister found.
Maybe they just went on a trip.
Well, I don't think so. Their clothes and personal effects are still here, even their toothbrushes.
It mustn't come out about Ed.
About Ed's what?
Well, there's the family to consider. We don't want any scandal or newspaper notoriety.
What kind of scandal would you have in mind, Miss Lawton? You know, if a crime's been committed, it's going to have to be exposed.
The foul play theory at this stage is pure conjecture. The scandal isn't.
Care to tell me about it?
Well, I'm afraid we must. Edward Traynor, Miss Lawton's sister's husband, is an ex-convict. He was serving in the Merchant Marine when he was arrested for fraud.
Local conviction?
No, California. He served his time in Folsom. And after his release, he met Marcia Lawton.
And he told her all about his past.
Clean breast. Made no difference to Marcia, and they were married.
We all liked him.
You see, both sisters received sizable legacies from their grandfather. Now, Marcia used up part of her inheritance to set her husband up in an interior decorating shop here in Chicago.
And it was a happy marriage.
Oh, very. Until the blackmailer came along.
Blackmailer?
Well, we only know his last name, Campbell. He threatened to expose Traynor's criminal record.
So he paid off. Well, maybe they went into hiding.
No, I've thought of that. Marcia would have written me. She knows how I worry. Lieutenant, I want to be wrong. Please prove that what I'm thinking is wrong.
We'll certainly do everything we can. I started the wheels for an information roundup. With Hazel's permission, a team went over the Traynor apartment looking for a lead. I wanted the blackmail letters and concentrated on Traynor's small interior decorating shop. But they weren't in Traynor's office alcove, where I made a thorough search. Hazel was positive that the blackmailer had written to Traynor. Her sister had said so.
Marcia wanted Ed to go to the police, but he didn't want anyone to know who he was.
So he paid.
Marcia paid until there was nothing left. So then Ed told Campbell that he wouldn't give him any more money. Campbell got mad and threatened him.
How long ago was that?
Oh, a month, 5 weeks.
Why didn't you tell me about this before?
Well, I told you we didn't want any scandal.
Yeah, that's right. You did tell me that.
find something.
Looks like Trainer's appointment time. The last entry was on the 5th.
I got a letter from Marcia on the 4th. Yes, I remember. That was the last letter I got from her.
Phone Hammond. This underline, does that mean anything to you?
No, not in Chicago.
Well, I better check on it anyway.
Is it something I should know about?
Darling, missed you last night. Baby, a day without you is 24 hours too many. What about tonight? All my love, Dory. D-O-R-Y. P.S. When are you going to go for Hooligan?
What's hooligan?
Well, Hooligan and 26er dice games played all over town. You know, the winner gets a marker, redeemable for food or beverage. But Hooligan sort of means going for the big points.
This is a love letter.
I can't be sure. I mean, it's not addressed to Trainer. It just says, darling, and there's no date.
Let's not kid each other, Lieutenant. You're thinking the same thing I am. Marcia worshipped Eddie. There wasn't anything she wouldn't have done for him. Anything. All the time he was cheating.
By the time I got back to M Squad headquarters, the wheels were moving to find Mr. and Mrs. Eddie Trainer. We had 3 leads: Campbell, the blackmailer, a girl named Dory, and a phone memo regarding a party named Hammond. Telegrams went to the Maritime Union to see if Trainer ever shipped with anyone named Campbell and his present whereabouts. There are 148 phone listings under the name of Hammond in the Chicago directory. We called each one to ask if this was the Hammond who knew or had any dealings with Eddie Trainer.
Relax, boys. I think we've hit it. Frank. Brophy just got this. Herbert Hammond in real estate.
What's this, sir?
Well, Trainer called Hammond in regard to purchasing a suburban lot for a home site. Hammond lined one up when Trainer took his missus out to look at it.
Is that the location?
Uh-huh. Trainer was supposed to call him back that same afternoon and say whether it was a deal. He hasn't been heard from since.
Okay, I'll go on and take a look. I'll take Petrie with me.
Right. Oh, Frank. That's a lonely stretch of woods, you know.
Yeah. Put your rubbers on. We talked to Hammond and then went over to the lot. The real estate man was positive that the Trainers had planned to visit the site on the 5th of the month. It had snowed twice since then. The lot was on a side road and not a place anybody was likely to visit except the Trainers, people looking for a home site.
Woman's glove, huh?
Yeah, with a Boston label. Let's have a look around, huh? Better know about homicide. Tell them to get a lab crew out here. Tell them to bring a couple of shovels, too. The bodies had been buried in a shallow, hastily dug grave. They matched the description of Eddie and Marcia Trainer. They'd been there an estimated 3 weeks. The man had been hit in the face, probably with a shovel. Yeah, the initials in the hat band are any Trainers, all right.
Well, it's for homicide now. They can run down the blackmailer.
Yeah. All right, thanks. I went to the morgue for the autopsy reports. The Trainers had been shot, the woman twice, the man once. And when I left, we had a hunch who the killer was.
Well, I see you got your name in the paper, eh, Frank? You'll be a celebrity before you know it.
Yeah, but can a celebrity keep regular hours and stay in bed in the morning?
Did you read this? Man and woman found in lonely grave. Ballinger locates missing couple.
Yeah, I read it. Funny thing, though, they didn't mention Trainer's hat.
You put a lot of stock in that, don't you, Frank?
So does homicide. See, the bullet went through this way. From the inside. Microscopic examination proves that. But the hole in the body, the bullet goes laterally, like this, just slightly above the ears. Which means it could have been a stray shot, or else it was put there.
To make us hunt for Camel.
Well, some people overdo things. The face on the body was smashed to prevent identification. I think Trainer's still alive.
What?
I think he did it. That is, if I'm right about the bullet hole.
And you think it could be the body of some poor devil from Skid Row who won't be missed?
Probably thought he was helping out in the holdup. It's been done before to get rid of an unwanted wife.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's homicides, baby. Now they can wrap it up. I'm going home for a long sleep.
Yeah, do that. Frank, check in early, huh? Headquarters want you to stay on this case.
When I left homicide unit at police headquarters the next morning, my hunch was a fact. Trainer's dentist had been located. The dental work in the mouth of the man who'd been buried with Marcia didn't belong to her husband. Somebody else had been killed and left there. We could only guess why. We were satisfied now that Ed Trainer was alive, but we kept it from the press. I went back to M Squad to see if we'd hooked anything in the lines we put out. We'd sent wires to the Maritime Union and Folsom Prison for information on Eddie Trainer.
Hey, Charlie, what you been doing?
Oh, we got the dope from the Union. You're going to be disappointed, though.
Let me have it.
A guy named Campbell shipped with Trainer all right in the Merchant Marine. One small detail rules him out.
What's that?
He dropped dead in Singapore 2 years ago.
What about Folsom? Any response from them yet?
Oh, yeah, that came in about 20 minutes ago. There's no record of any Campbell in Trainer's class there. They wired us a rundown on his cellmates. Seems he had two during his stretch. A Pete Musso and a Howard Atchison. Musso's back in for parole violation. Atchison's present whereabouts are unknown.
Atchison. Well, you better wire Folsom and get his record.
Yeah, I figured you'd want that. It's already in the works.
Oh, good. Fingerprint division, please. Hello, Eddie? Ballinger. Look, any luck with the body in the Trainer case? Yeah. Okay, thanks. Another dead end. They can't get any fingerprints.
Well, they wouldn't tell us where Trainer is now. Anyway, the body doesn't belong to Campbell.
No. You know what? We don't really know that there was a blackmailer.
Hazel Lawton told it. Hey.
Exactly. We've only got her word for it. Well, if anybody wants me, I'll be over at the Trainer apartment. If it was Trainer, he had to have help to get away with this. He must have had a plan and a new identity set up. I couldn't figure it any other way.
Oh, Lieutenant Ballinger, come in. You have something to tell me?
Well, I was kind of hoping it'd be the other way around.
How do you mean?
Well, the other day when I read that letter to you, the love letter, you took it big.
Well, naturally. How would you react if you'd found your sister's husband was playing around with another woman?
Well, if it didn't mean anything to me, I'm sure that I wouldn't go to pieces.
Well, I told you, Lieutenant, Marcia and I were always very close.
I won't do. It was a big personal shock to you.
If I understand you correctly, you're insinuating there was something between Eddie and myself.
Well, wasn't
Comes very close to being funny, Lieutenant. Can I offer you a drink?
it? Sure, Ernest. Now that I got the ball rolling, I'd like to keep it in motion.
All right. There was something between Eddie and myself. But not the way you think. That's what's so funny. My feeling the way I did about him, forcing myself to hold back because he and Marcy seemed so much in love. I didn't think another woman stood a chance. Isn't that hilarious?
In other words, the thing that bothered you wasn't the fact that he went for another woman, but that he didn't go for you.
You make it sound so ugly.
It could become a lot uglier if it turned out that you knew where he is.
Eddie's dead.
Eddie's not dead.
What are you trying to say? Are you saying he killed Marcia? Well, I don't know anything about him. Whatever I felt, I'd find him, punish him. I don't care what you do to him, but get him.
I still wondered why it had taken Hazel Lawton 3 weeks to come to Chicago looking for her sister. A sister she had heard from several times a week and who suddenly stopped writing. Meanwhile, I started the wheels to locate Dory, who had written Trainer a love letter. If she was in town, we might locate her. When I got back to M Squad, the police machine had picked up information that checked out another fact.
Frank? Headquarters just shot this over. It's from Folsom.
Howard Atchison, huh? Trainer's old cellmate. Now the description fits. The chip of bone off the left elbow proves that the body in the morgue is Atchison.
Nice going, but it still doesn't give us Trainer.
No, but it tells us the two old cellmates got together again. Why? What were they up to?
Okay, what were they up to?
And let's ask Dory.
Oh, Frank, all you've got's a girl's nickname.
Yeah, well, it's not a common name. And being she used the expression, go for hooligan, I'm going to concentrate on the 26th game in town.
Yeah, well, good luck.
A dozen men went through Chicago's nighttime playground, contacting all girls named Dorothy, Dora, or Doris. I wanted only those who presided over the 26 game layouts used in promoting business for the bar. The names of Trainer and Atchison were mentioned for reactions, but nobody reacted the way we'd hoped. We invited the girls to M Squad for questioning. Some came willingly, others reluctant. We checked out 30 and we were back in that old dead-end alley. None were nicknamed Dory. None had ever heard of the man we were looking for, Ed Trainer. Before they left, we got samples of their handwriting, especially how they wrote words used in Dory's love letter.
Hooligan is played with 5 dice. I don't get it. Why do I have to write this?
Say, you work out at the club Hangover, don't you?
That's right. I work for Joe Northman. He's the owner.
Dorothy Anselmo. And your friends call you Dory?
Not if I can help it, they don't. Dottie. Or just Dot.
You know, I was out at that club one night. I thought I heard somebody call you Dory.
If he's a spender, he can call me Fido.
Do you know Eddie Trainer?
Who?
Edward Trainer.
I know Eddie Cox. He's the bartender at the club.
Howard Atchison. Does that name mean anything to you?
Atchison? There's a railroad by that name. Is that it?
Yeah, sure, you can go, thanks. Yeah, that's close. Awful close. And the word hooligan's almost a perfect match. I think we're in business.
I made the rounds one night with Hazel Lawton to see if she could or would spot Eddie for me. The club Hangover was on the south side, a lot of miles in another world from where the Trainers used to live. A 24-hour stakeout was assigned to Dorothy in the hope that she might lead us to Eddie. 3 days passed with no results. Her only interest seemed to be her boss, Joe Northman.
26?
Well, let's make it hooligan, Dory. Trainer been around?
I thought I made it quite plain at the station, Lieutenant. I don't know anyone named Trainer.
Yeah, that's right. You told me that. The funny thing, we got a letter that you wrote him.
You can't prove that.
Better close up your game and come on downtown again, huh? cab for you, Miss Lawton.
Let me go with you. I want to talk to you.
All right. There's my car. All right, give it to me once again from the top. Huh?
I can't be positive. Eddie looks so different, but, well, the eyes, they seem so much like his.
Would you swear that Northman was Eddie?
No, I don't know. The height and the build are the same. The blonde hair isn't Eddie's, but the eyes...
What about the eyes?
I don't know. Eddie didn't wear glasses. Well, it's hard to explain.
Petrie, would you bring the girl in, please? Thanks for trying. Now, I'll try. Excuse me, please.
Sit down, please.
Dorothy, you've been lying to me.
No, honest.
We can prove that you wrote that letter to Trainer. And this lady saw him tonight. You're an accessory to murder.
No.
The letter had a P.S. on it. And I quote, "When are you going to go for hooligan?"
That was a figure of speech. Eddie knew what I meant.
So did we. It meant, when are you going to get rid of your wife?
No. No, I didn't mean any such thing.
He got rid of her, didn't he? Just so he could be with you?
No, it wasn't that way at all.
Then how was it? All right, then I'll tell you. There never was a blackmailer. It was just an elaborate frame so Eddie could rob his wife.
No.
But Eddie was practical. When Marcia ran out of funds, he decided to dump her. And his partner, Atchison. Then he changed his appearance, changed his name to Joe Northman, and bought the club Hangover 2 weeks ago. Before that, nobody ever heard of Joe Northman.
Atchison. He left a letter, he told you.
Yeah. Take her downstairs and put out a line for Eddie.
Let's go.
Miss Lawton, I'll need a statement from you, and if you wouldn't mind waiting around, I'll be back shortly. Closed up kind of early, huh?
There's light on in there.
Well, maybe we're in time to prevent another disappearing act. Shannon, you and Plonsky go around the rear and cover from there, huh? The sergeant and I are going in this way. All right, Trainer, open up. This is the police. Trainer? No sense in trying to duck out the back. We got the place surrounded. Come on, open up, Trainer. One way or the other, we're going to get you. You hit?
Yeah, the arm.
Stay where you are. It's rough when you're forced to kill a man. No matter how many times it's happened before, you know that life is the most precious thing in the world. There's just one thing that makes it all right in the end. The knowledge that what you've done has made it possible for the citizens of your town to sleep just a little bit easier in their beds tonight.
Be sure to tune in again next week for another exciting story from the files of M Squad.